Hi students, in the last module we had studied about the uniform plane wave and wave equation in medium and also in free space and the phasor form of the wave equation. These topics we already covered in 5th module and let us go into the 6th module. Here we will study about the wave equation in conducting medium and also in free space. And we will also discuss about the transmission lines and waves in transmission lines, etc. So, we know there are mainly two types of materials we are dealing with in electromagnetics. First one is the conductors. You know what is a conductor? They conduct electricity. That means their conductivity is like infinity. And second category is dielectric. They act like insulators. So, the plane waves in a medium can be categorized into four categories. First one is a good conductor. The wave can travel in a good conductor. And second one is a lossy dielectric. And third one is perfect dielectric or lossless dielectric. And last one is free space. The free space is also can be acts like a dielectric. In the case of a good conductor, the first category is the plane wave can move through a good conductor. In the case of a good conductor, you know the term conductor. Conductor means they conduct electricity. That is, the conductivity of a conductor is infinity. So we studied that the term sigma is using to indicate the conductivity, and here the value of sigma is equal to infinity in the case of a conductor, good conductor. And the permittivity epsilon of a good conductor is equal to, we are denoting that with the epsilon, and the permeability, that is mu can be denoted by mu 0, mu r for a good conductor. And the second category is lossy dielectric. Here the sigma, it is not equal to 0, that is there is some conductivity is present in the case of a lossy dielectric, and we can represent the permittivity with the letter epsilon, and the permeability is mu. And in the third category, they are perfect dielectric or lossless dielectric. Here the conductivity sigma is equal to 0 and epsilon is equal to epsilon 0 epsilon r, and mu can be written as mu is equal to mu 0 mu r. And the fourth category is free space. Here the conductivity sigma is equal to 0 and epsilon can be written as epsilon, it is equal to epsilon 0 in the case of a free space, and mu is equal to mu 0 in the case of a free space. So the first two category, that is the good conductor and lossy dielectric, there is some conductivity is present in the case of a lossy dielectric. So they are coming under the category of conductors. Here the value of sigma, that is the conductivity, it is greater than epsilon omega. And the second category, that is the perfect dielectric and the free space, they are coming under the category of insulators. Here sigma is less than omega epsilon. So here we are dealing with some constant. First one is the sigma. Sigma means it represents the conductivity. Conductivity means it is the ability of a material to conduct current. And the second term is the epsilon, that is, it represents the permittivity. It opposes the electromagnetic wave propagation in a medium. And the third constant is mu. It represents the permittivity. It is the degree of magnetization in a material. These are the terms which commonly used in the wave equation derivation. So the first one is the wave equation in conducting medium. We already studied the wave equation, that is the wave equation can be given as del square E is equal to mu epsilon dou square E divided by dou t square plus mu sigma dou E divided by dou t. And this can be written in the phasor form as, that is the phasor form of E. We studied it in the last module, that is E is equal to real part of E raised to j omega t, and substitute this value for E in first equation. So del square, in the place of E we can put this value, that is real part of E raised to j omega t, that is equal to mu epsilon dou square divided by dou t square. That is the place of E. It is replaced by this value, that is dou square divided by dou t square. In the place of E we are putting real part of E raised to j omega t plus mu sigma dou by dou t of real part of E raised to j omega t. So the equation becomes real part of del square E raised to j omega t, it is equal to minus mu epsilon omega square real part of E raised to j omega t plus j mu sigma omega real part of E raised to j omega t. And this can be rewritten as, that is the real part of del square E plus mu epsilon omega square in bracket, that is minus j mu sigma omega E into E raised to j omega t, it is equal to 0. And from this relation we can written as this del square E minus j mu sigma omega E plus mu epsilon omega square E is equal to 0. That is del square E minus j mu omega E, and this sigma plus, in this equation this j mu omega and E is common in these two terms, so we can take that term to outside of the bracket. So we get del square E minus j mu omega E into sigma plus j epsilon omega is equal to 0. So we can write this del square E minus j mu omega sigma plus j epsilon omega into E is equal to 0. That is, this equation can be written as del square E minus gamma square E is equal to 0. Here the term gamma square is equal to j mu omega into sigma plus j omega epsilon. So here the value of gamma, it is known as the propagation constant, and this gamma is equal to alpha plus j beta. And here the alpha indicates the attenuation constant and beta indicates the phase constant. So the first one, that is gamma, it is the propagation constant. The propagation constant gamma, it is a measure of change per unit length undergone by the amplitude and phase of the wave it propagates in a given direction. That is, the propagation constant gamma is the measure of change per unit length undergone by the amplitude and phase of the wave propagation in a given direction. So the second one, that is in this equation, the second one, that is alpha, it indicates the attenuation constant. So what is this attenuation constant? This attenuation constant alpha, it is the measure of change per unit length undergone by the amplitude of wave propagate in a given direction. And the last one, that is the beta, it represents the phase constant and it indicates it is the measure of change per unit length undergone by the phase of a wave. So in the first one, that is the propagation constant. Here it indicates the change per unit length undergone by the amplitude and phase of the wave. It propagates in a given direction. And the second one, that is in the attenuation constant, it indicates the change per unit length undergone by the amplitude of a wave. It propagates in a particular direction. And in the third one, here it indicates the change per unit length of undergone by the phase of a given wave in a particular direction. So we know the relation, that is gamma is equal to alpha plus j beta, and this can be written as root of j mu epsilon sigma plus j epsilon omega. And squaring this equation on both sides, that is alpha plus j beta, the whole square is equal to j mu omega sigma minus mu epsilon omega square. So this equation, it is in the form of a plus b. So a plus b the whole square, we can use this relation, that is a plus b the whole square relation here. So we can write this relation as alpha square minus beta square plus 2j alpha beta, and that is equal to minus mu epsilon omega square plus j mu omega sigma. So equate the real and imaginary parts. So we get alpha square minus beta square is equal to minus mu epsilon omega square. Mark it as equation number 1. And the second term, that is 2 alpha beta is equal to mu omega sigma. And we have alpha square plus beta square is equal to, from the equation we can get this as root of alpha square minus beta square the whole square plus 4 alpha square beta square, and this can be rewritten as root of mu square epsilon square omega raised to 4 plus mu square epsilon square sigma square. So alpha square plus beta square is equal to root of mu square epsilon square omega raised to 4. It is taken as common and it is taken outside of the bracket. Then the rest of the equation terms are 1 plus mu square epsilon square sigma square divided by mu square epsilon square omega raised to 4. From this we can write alpha square plus beta square is equal to mu epsilon omega square into root of 1 plus sigma square divided by epsilon square omega raised to 4. Mark it as equation number 2. And adding the alpha square plus beta square and alpha square minus beta square, we get the values for alpha square plus beta square and also for alpha square minus beta square, and add the values of these two, and we get the value for 2 alpha square. So 2 alpha square is equal to minus mu epsilon omega square plus mu epsilon omega square into root of 1 plus sigma square divided by epsilon square omega raised to 2 or omega square. That is 2 alpha square is equal to mu epsilon omega square into root of 1 plus sigma square divided by epsilon square omega square minus 1. From this equation we get the value for alpha square. Alpha square is equal to mu epsilon